In a world dominated by flashbulbs, curated public images, and calculated press releases, true humanitarianism is often hard to find. We are accustomed to seeing public figures step in front of cameras, deliver rehearsed speeches, and hand over symbolic oversized checks, only to disappear back into their private sanctuaries once the media coverage fades. The concept of genuine altruism, performed entirely behind closed doors with no expectation of public recognition, feels like a relic of a bygone era. Yet, whispers often emerge from the inner circles of the global elite, hinting at actions that never make the evening news. For years, the public narrative surrounding the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, has been intensely scrutinized, debated, and picked apart by observers across the globe. From their dramatic departure from senior royal duties to their subsequent relocation to California, every single move they make is analyzed through a microscope. Critics and supporters alike continuously weigh in on their motives, their media deals, and their public statements, creating a noisy backdrop that often obscures the actual substance of their charitable endeavors. It raises a fascinating question about what truly happens when the cameras are turned off and the microphones are put away. Is the philanthropic work of such high-profile figures merely a tool for brand management? Or is there a deeply quiet, persistent engine of compassion operating completely out of sight? A definitive answer to this question requires looking past the sensationalized headlines and listening to those who actually collaborate with them on the front lines of global crisis management. One such individual, whose own reputation for ground-level humanitarian action spans continents, has recently chosen to lift the veil on the couple's private conduct. His insights offer a stark contrast to the turbulent public perception that often surrounds the Sussexes, revealing a pattern of behavior that is as unexpected as it is impactful. Before we dive into the specific revelations and explore the hidden dynamics of this high-profile partnership, take a quick moment to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep-dive investigative reports into the stories shaping our world. The perspective shared by this close insider does not come from a place of mere speculation or polite social pleasantry. It comes from a man who has spent decades navigating active disaster zones, feeding millions of displaced people, and observing exactly how the world's most powerful individuals react when tragedy strikes. When a major crisis unfolds, whether it is a catastrophic natural disaster or a sudden humanitarian emergency, the immediate response of global leadership is usually structural, bureaucratic, and slow. However, according to recent first-hand accounts, a very different and highly immediate reaction occurs within the private residence of Montecito. The revelation that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle operate as proactive, behind-the-scenes coordinators during international emergencies changes the texture of the ongoing debate surrounding their global role. It suggests that while the public is busy analyzing their latest media projects or public appearances, the couple is actively monitoring global events with a sense of urgency that demands direct, personal involvement. This involvement is not channeled through a chain of public relations representatives or corporate intermediaries. Instead, it manifests as immediate, direct communication with grassroots organizations that are already on the ground, bypassing traditional institutional protocols to ask a simple, fundamental question regarding how they can best assist. The weight of these actions lies precisely in their anonymity. In an era where digital validation is often seen as the primary goal of any charitable act, choosing to keep these efforts completely hidden from the public eye is a deliberate and telling choice. It implies a philosophy of giving that is rooted in utility rather than optics, focusing entirely on the immediate needs of the vulnerable rather than the potential public relations benefits for the donors. The individual who brought these facts to light emphasizes that this is not an occasional occurrence designed to placate a particular group or fulfill a periodic obligation. Rather, it is a consistent, ongoing habit that characterizes their daily lives outside of the public spotlight. Understanding the full scale of this hidden philanthropy requires examining the specific networks they have built since establishing their independent platform in the United States. Their primary vehicle for global impact, Archie Philanthropies was founded with the explicit mission of uplifting and uniting communities through systemic support and compassionate action. However, the true measure of a foundation is not found in its mission statement, but in the strategic alliances it forms, and the efficiency with which it deploys resources during moments of absolute chaos. By aligning themselves with organizations that prioritize immediate, practical relief over bureaucratic deliberation, the Sussexes have positioned themselves to react to global developments with a level of agility that is rare for figures of their stature. This agility is precisely what has caught the attention of veteran humanitarian leaders who are notoriously critical of superficial corporate charity. The contrast between the public storm that frequently surrounds their names and the quiet efficiency of their private actions creates a compelling dichotomy that challenges the conventional understanding of modern celebrity philanthropy. As we prepare to analyze the specific instances where this hidden support made a tangible difference, it becomes clear that the story of Harry and Meghan's post-royal life is far more complex than the binary narratives often presented in mainstream media. The realities of their collaborative efforts, the specific nature of their operational partnerships, and the actual mechanics of how they leverage their influence during global emergencies paint a picture of a couple deeply invested in the gritty reality of crisis response. Far removed from the polished spaces of traditional diplomacy, the individual responsible for revealing this hidden side of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is none other than Chef José Andrés, the visionary founder of World Central Kitchen. Over the last 2 decades, Andrés has transformed himself from a world-renowned, Michelin-starred culinary artist into one of the most effective and respected humanitarian leaders on the planet. His organization, World Central Kitchen, has become synonymous with rapid frontline disaster relief, arriving at the scenes of earthquakes, hurricanes, and humanitarian crises within hours to establish field kitchens and provide hot, nourishing meals to survivors and first responders. It is within this high-stress, logistically complex environment that an unexpected partnership was forged back in the turbulent year of 2020. As the global pandemic upended society and natural disasters continued to devastate vulnerable regions, Archie Philanthropies and World Central Kitchen officially joined forces. This was not a superficial corporate sponsorship designed for a single news cycle, but a deeply integrated collaborative effort aimed at building permanent infrastructure in disaster-prone areas. Together, the two organizations funded the construction of community relief centers in places like the Caribbean island of Dominica and the storm-battered regions of Puerto Rico. These centers were designed to act as fully equipped emergency kitchens during times of crisis and to serve as community hubs, schools, and medical clinics during times of peace. This strategic alignment allowed Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to channel their philanthropic resources directly into a proven, agile network capable of immediate action. Yet, according to Chef Andrés, the formal financial backing was only a small fraction of the couple's true involvement. The real story lies in the persistent, unprompted communication that occurs behind the scenes whenever a new crisis begins to emerge on the global stage. Andrés revealed that as hurricanes form in the Atlantic or geopolitical emergencies unfold, his phone will often light up with direct messages and personal phone calls from Harry and Meghan. They do not wait for a formal appeal for funds or a structured proposal from a board of directors. Instead, they reach out immediately, asking what can be done in that exact moment and how they can best support the team heading into danger. The chef emphasized that nobody in the media or the general public ever finds out about these exchanges. They happen consistently and repeatedly, completely detached from any desire for public validation or positive press. For a couple that is constantly accused of calculating their public moves, this pattern of quiet, unpublicized care represents a profound departure from the expected behavior of modern global figures. They possess the wealth, status, and luxury to completely isolate themselves from the world's harsh realities, choosing instead to live a life of uninterrupted comfort within the secure walls of their private residence. However, Andrés expressed a deep sense of admiration for the fact that they consciously choose the exact opposite path. They remain intensely connected to global developments, maintaining a genuine, active worry for the welfare of people they will likely never meet. This level of authentic engagement is what led the celebrated chef to publicly state how incredibly proud he is to call Prince Harry and Meghan Markle his friends. The operational reality of World Central Kitchen requires a level of trust and speed that traditional institutional philanthropy rarely accommodates. When an earthquake strikes or a flood displaces tens of thousands of families, there is no time to navigate complex bureaucratic channels or wait for committee approvals. Food, water, and logistical support are needed within hours, not weeks. Andrés noted that having partners like the Sussexes, who understand this urgency on a personal level, changes the dynamics of emergency response. Their willingness to leverage their resources instantly, without demanding a public relations campaign in return, allows frontline responders to focus entirely on saving lives and comforting survivors. This hands-on, high-integrity approach is a key reason why the partnership has endured and expanded over the last 6 years, surviving the intense media storms that frequently target the couple's public identity. Beyond the immediate logistical support during natural disasters, Andrés also highlighted the broader geographical scope of Prince Harry's independent humanitarian efforts. He specifically pointed to the Duke of Sussex's significant journey to Ukraine, an initiative that demonstrated a profound willingness to use his global platform to shine a spotlight on those working under the most perilous conditions. As the founder of the Invictus Games, an international sporting event for wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women, Harry has spent over a decade dedicating himself to the long-term rehabilitation and support of military veterans. His trip to Ukraine was entirely focused on checking in with veterans, understanding their immediate medical and psychological needs, and bringing international awareness to the localized organizations working tirelessly to aid the injured. Andrés observed that very few global figures of Harry's stature possess the genuine courage and dedication required to undertake such a journey, immersing themselves directly into environments defined by ongoing conflict and systemic trauma. This specific endeavor underscored a shared philosophy between the prince and the chef, both of whom believe that true leadership is demonstrated by physical presence and active solidarity with those who are suffering on the ground. The tension between how the Sussexes are portrayed in daily tabloid media and how they are experienced by veteran humanitarians on the front lines creates a massive disconnect. To the public, they are often presented through a lens of constant controversy, familial discord, and endless debate regarding titles and protocols. To individuals like José Andrés, who judge people strictly by their actions during a crisis, they are reliable, compassionate, and deeply committed allies who show up when the world is at its worst. This stark contrast raises critical questions about the nature of modern media consumption and the accuracy of the narratives that shape public opinion. It suggests that the true impact of their post-royal lives cannot be accurately measured by internet commentary or television pundits, but must instead be evaluated through the permanent relief centers they have built, the millions of meals they have helped distribute, and the quiet, late-night text messages offering immediate assistance to emergency workers. As this complex story continues to unfold, the focus naturally shifts from the chaotic public arenas of international news down to the deeply personal spaces where Harry and Meghan navigate their daily lives, balancing the immense pressures of global scrutiny with a persistent desire to remain ordinary, grounded, and useful members of the human family. The profound impact of this collaborative relationship becomes even clearer when examining the remarkable journey of Chef José Andrés himself, whose life story mirrors the same values of dedication and resilience he praises in the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Born in the Asturias region of northern Spain, Andrés discovered his passion for the culinary arts at a very young age, entering culinary school in Barcelona when he was just 15 years old. His early career was defined by immense rigor, including a period of mandatory military service where he served as a specialized cook for a high-ranking admiral, followed by intense training under legendary avant-garde chefs. When he first arrived in the United States in the early 1990s, he was a young immigrant with very little money and limited English. Yet he possessed an extraordinary vision for how food could bring people together. Over the subsequent 3 decades, he fundamentally transformed the American culinary landscape by popularizing traditional Spanish dining and earning multiple Michelin stars for his innovative restaurant concepts. However, it was the catastrophic earthquake in Haiti in 2010 that fundamentally shifted his life path, prompting him to establish World Central Kitchen with the belief that food is not just fuel, but a powerful tool for community restoration and systemic change. His transition from a celebrated television personality, an elite restaurateur, to a globally recognized humanitarian has earned him prestigious honors, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom, establishing him as an authority on true altruistic leadership. When an individual of this caliber speaks so highly of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, his words carry an extraordinary amount of weight, born from a shared understanding of what it actually means to serve communities under intense global pressure. This deep alignment of values explains why their partnership goes far beyond formal business agreements, extending into a warm, genuine, and remarkably ordinary friendship that provides a vital sanctuary from their demanding professional lives. When the cameras are completely turned off and the public scrutiny fades away, the conversations between the chef and the Sussexes revolve around the exact same everyday topics that define any ordinary friendship. Andrés revealed that during their private chats, they rarely focus on the heavy burdens of global logistics or public relations campaigns, choosing instead to talk about the simple, grounding realities of family life, shared personal experiences, good times, and the joy of discovering a new dish or an exceptional restaurant. This pursuit of normalcy is a vital element of how the couple navigates their highly unusual reality, maintaining a tight, carefully selected circle of trusted friends who value them for who they are as individuals rather than what they represent to the global media. A central focus of this grounded lifestyle is their daily family routine within their California home, where they prioritize raising their 2 children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, with a profound sense of stability, privacy, and parental warmth. Despite the continuous storm of media commentary across the Atlantic, the daily reality within their private residence is defined by a genuine warmth and an absolute dedication to being the best parents they can possibly be. Insiders close to the family consistently emphasize that Archie and Lilibet are the absolute center of their universe, with the couple deliberately scheduling their professional commitments around school drop-offs, pickup times, and dedicated family weekends. They go to extraordinary lengths to protect the privacy of their children, ensuring they can enjoy a vibrant, happy childhood filled with backyard Easter egg hunts, outdoor playtime, and a complete insulation from the complexities of international fame. Chef Andrés provided a beautiful insight into this private world, revealing that just like millions of ordinary families around the globe, much of their domestic life centers directly around the kitchen. The kitchen has become the ultimate meeting place in their household, a vibrant space of connection where they gather to cook, share stories, and reinforce their family bonds through the universal language of food. The celebrated chef expressed a particular admiration for how Meghan interacts with her children in this culinary environment, using the process of preparing meals to foster a sense of curiosity, creativity, and deep emotional security. This picture of a quiet, kitchen-centric domestic life stands in stark contrast to the sensationalized narratives that dominate public discourse, offering a powerful reminder of their fundamental humanity. Ultimately, the revelations shared by Chef José Andrés challenge the world to look past the superficial noise of celebrity culture and evaluate the Duke and Duchess of Sussex through the lens of their tangible actions and private integrity. It tells a story of a couple that has consciously rejected the passive comfort of an isolated existence, choosing instead to remain actively engaged with the world's most pressing challenges while fighting hard to maintain a grounded, loving home for their family. By demonstrating a consistent willingness to help behind the scenes without demanding public praise, Harry and Meghan have shown that true humanitarianism is not defined by public relations metrics, but by the quiet choices made when nobody is watching. As they continue to balance the immense weights of global influence and private parenthood, Their enduring partnership with frontline leaders like Andrés ensures that they will remain a vital, quiet part of the solution for communities facing crisis around the globe.